Welcome to Fink Beats the Stomach, our bi-weekly take on the world of competitive eating. I am Mike Sullivan.
And I'm James Splendori.
James, episode number 83.
Shit, we haven't done it in so long, I forgot about the bit.
It doesn't matter, we're live!
Hey guys, this is the magic. Hello everybody.
We are live on YouTube, presumably.
I mean, who knows?
It's our first time doing this, so we could be talking to no one.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers, man.
Highest of.
And I realized too, I'm actually gonna take these off. I just can't handle the feedback, but
Okay.
it's up to you. If you have a better mind than I do, but I realized that with the intro music potentially not working, that there may have just been some like awkward silence in the beginning.
Yeah.
So we're off to a great live streaming start, I think.
That's classic Fink stuff, though, to be honest.
But James, it's been a minute since we've had an episode.
Yeah. What, like a month and a half? 2 months?
Yeah, probably about 2 months. It must have been before Christmas.
Yeah, dude, it's February.
Yeah, and we're
almost March.
February 19th, yeah.
Feels good to be back, man.
Feels really good to be back. And, I want to thank all of the competitive eating people out there who reached out to, kind of see what's going on. The long and short of it is I had a little bit of a family emergency. Everything is great. Almost completely back to normal with no residual.
Amazing news.
Yeah, absolutely. So Dad, I love you. So happy that you're feeling so much better. And I'm really happy that we're back doing what we do best, or at least what we do semi-well.
Well, we do it. I'm not gonna
we
say
do
how
it. Yeah, we do it.
And also, big ups to Mrs. Sullivan, who's probably the only one listening.
And she was the one holding down the fort throughout
right.
the entire thing. So yeah, big ups to
And
mom
actually,
as
big
well.
big ups to everyone in our families.
Yeah.
Because we did make it through the holidays, which is a great time for family.
Yeah.
Now we just passed Valentine's Day, which is the new family you and Kate have created, celebrating.
What about you? How was your Valentine's Day?
I was celebrating family on Valentine's Day as well in a much different fashion. Went to the world's best play. Hamilton, get out of here. Kinky Boots, never. I went to go see an elementary school play. Their rousing rendition of 101 Dalmatians. Amazing. It was amazing. It was the best. So my Valentine's Day was also celebrating family. So big ups to all the family listening, and to those who are not, and to the Fink family.
And here we are. We're back.
It feels great.
Now, James, let's jump right into our episode today, because I feel like we have a few fun things to talk about. Do you have a preference or what we talk about first? We didn't mention this beforehand.
Yeah. I think I want to go girl first.
All right. So let's do it. So
Ladies first.
Ladies
there
first.
we go.
Ladies first.
Always in on the
So in honor of doing our first video live stream,
Yep.
I felt it was only fitting to do some sort of video commentary, YouTube video. We've talked about a bunch on the show. There's a huge competitive eating world on YouTube.
Right. Which we are now a part of.
Which we are officially a part of as of today.
Oh, yeah.
And, there's a lot of, obviously, the most well-known, the Matt Stoneys, the Molly Schuyler's, the Badlands Chugs.
What is that? Is that competitive eating?
I think so. He's against himself. He's trying to make a name for himself.
Well, Mike, the only person you're fighting is in the mirror. When he throws one, what are you going to do? You got to duck him.
Creed is going to come up a lot in this episode. And I don't know, you don't realize a big one that's coming your way pretty quickly.
Mike, if Creed comes up in everything we do, I think we're doing fine.
So, we've tried to do, we have done this before where we've watched a YouTube video on our audio only podcast,
which is some of the best content I think we've ever come up
So now we can actually do some live commentary. Of course, this will go out in audio form.
So it's going to be the same as the other
So people
episodes.
might be listening to it, but maybe that incentivizes you to check out our YouTube channel. So, of course, the most famous of any YouTube content that we've discussed on our show is, of course, girl versus food.
I mean, according to us.
Correct. And one of the few YouTube channels that's really caught our attention.
I can't imagine why. Mike and I have talked a couple times about Girl Meets Food.
We'll go through, as we go through this video, kind of what Girl vs. Food is about. But this is a very special episode of Girl vs. Food because they pulled in competitive UK's competitive eating legend, according to some.
She's making a name for herself.
Yeah, there's a real jury out on the number one competitive eater in the UK. So between Leah and, of course, Adam Beard Meets Food Moran.
What about Kate Evans? She might be media personality.
I would say media. She's more of an influencer.
Ooh.
A food influencer.
Which is hot given Firefest Fallout.
She would have gone to if competitive eating ever has a Firefest.
We'll be running it because we won't be able to pull it together.
And Kate Evans will be in the commercial and not be there at the actual thing.
This is going to be a moment, Mike. Like, this is how you can judge that we've been gone a while. It's like, well, last time we recorded an episode, Fire Docs weren't even out.
They weren't even out yet.
We
Neither one of them.
known about it at that point. So actually, you know how like in old...
And sorry, I just want to point out, you would be Ja. I would be Billy McFarland.
Yeah, first of all.
Just to be... If we're because like, you do a better toast.
I'm better than the jaw toast. Those were, especially in today's climate, which that was not that long ago. Even in that climate, gross. Also, I'm not sure if that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
I think it is.
I think so too.
Would you
Because it came from a
Billy
good place.
McFarland? Yeah, no way.
No, I don't want to be any of those guys, but I'll take Ja. I want to be Ashanti, who's like somehow involved.
Okay.
Or not. But you know how you do know this in like old like game shows. We'd be like, oh, TV's like John Nelson Riley. I feel like we need to get Kate Evans is like, oh, like internet's own. She's gone past competitive eating. She's just like, she belongs to us, like the world.
She had some sort of sponsorship with like KFC. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
But
this is not about Kate Evans.
This is not about Kate Evans. This is about Leah Shutkever.
Right.
So actually, I realize I'm gonna have to put my headphones back on.
There you go.
But so let's go to the video and
Let's run the tape.
You can see what this is all about. Just try to get rid of this thing here.
See, I feel great that she's as bad at this as we are.
It's very similar. Sorry, let me try to fix this video here.
So it's very unclear as to what anyone on any of the media are seeing.
There we go.
But the music is good enough. And this is like a track I know.
You've heard this song before.
Yeah, this is off on some like Max shit, I think.
Do they play the same song throughout the whole thing?
I don't think so.
No, actually, no. Yes, it is. Because the audio listeners can hear what this song is all about. And I was dying laughing because there are lyrics to this song. And it's like, and house music was born. And so he said, and house was born.
It's like a fake George.
Yeah, it goes, oh, yeah, but it's of house music.
Right, of house music.
So Leah is in this restaurant called Crepes and Cones, which I found out was open. They probably mentioned it either in the video or maybe in the description.
Can we drop down the Leah?
Let's pause it for a second.
Because what you have to say is clearly important. Also,
and I think these might be the guys. These might be the guys that I've paused on. So the place is called Crepes and Cones.
Yep.
The name of the group, the rap duo that started the restaurant, is called Ken and Conan. Or I'm gonna have to look it up because I also want to play something from them.
Just real quick, crepes and cones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Crept and Conan.
Oh,
is that their tagline?
That's like crepes and cones. Hey,
I want you like take a peek at these guys.
Yeah. Whoa, that's a cool look though. And they're obviously British guys.
Yes, so they're British hip hop duo.
Oh, yeah. Lots of trainers, couple bros.
This is exactly what they sound like.
I'm wearing my trainers, Skepta.
So let's. I think we just.
If we have any UK listeners, I do apologize. Oh. This is when Think Pizza
This is like their top.
Starts breaking artists.
So I don't. We're gonna get some copyright claims here.
I feel like I might. That seemed vaguely familiar.
It was a pretty big hit in the UK at least. I read online it got some sort of award for like top highest charting UK hip hop song by an unsigned band.
Whoa.
Like something like that.
Major.
Very specific. Yeah, very specific. Anyway, let me I don't know if this is actually going to control the volume, but yeah, it should.
I'm surprised they don't have a different name for pancakes in the UK.
Like something more like British.
Yeah.
So
I thought for sure they'd be flapjacks.
Like trousers and yeah. Like I'm saying in that vein. Not that they would call pancakes
actually in England, trousers and pancakes are pants.
Same thing.
Same name. Yeah, they don't need to know the difference.
So Leah is in the restaurant and she's going to do their Mo Stacks challenge, which is a stack of pancakes.
Yeah, they look so good.
They really do look good. It's covered in syrup, chocolate, looks like some strawberries,
Which is
whipped
where you're
cream.
losing me, to be honest.
Yeah, I like a classic. Obviously, I love a flapjack.
Of course, but there's no Fruit Loops in this video.
Absolutely. With just give me some maple syrup and let's call it a day.
Truthfully, I want just butter. I don't even want
I'll put butter on.
no
it.
sweets with my my pancakes. So can we do a quick pause on what we're dealing with? Because we're getting deep into this Leah situation. But for our new fans, which we're allegedly maybe getting,
Well, like one or two.
and for those who have not caught every episode, Girl Meets Food is a girl versus food.
Versus food.
A girl versus food is the most ridiculous set of videos that have ever existed. Keep in mind, on YouTube, which is the centralized place for crazy shit, and Girl versus Food is the most ridiculous thing I've maybe ever seen on YouTube.
Why is that?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. What is a serpentine draft? Like, that was that type of setup, you know?
It's in everything.
So, every video I've ever seen is the most gratuitous sexual video.
Yeah.
Like, it's essentially what would have played on, like, BET Uncut, if there was, like, a BET Uncut for competitive eating. And, like, they'll be like, oh, like, I'm at the hot dog hut. And it's just, like,
Hot dog.
Right.
Like in neon letters.
and, like over her, like, bare midriff. Like,
Correct.
And they're like, well, we're going to eat. And then they eat, like, half a hot dog. And they're like, oh, it's so good.
Super close up, like on the bite.
Yeah, it's
Gratuitous is the word.
it's gross.
It is. Yeah.
We did nominate the food series for a Finky,
We did.
but it's because of the cinematography.
But they made it quite a splash on the competitive eating scene, and clearly they're stepping up their game. So again, normally it's a bit for
Right.
us because it's attractive English female
Yep.
going into a restaurant, and I appreciate that they try to big up the restaurant.
Sure.
It's always like, oh, we're here at this place. This is what they're known for. Let's go inside.
The anti whatever Guy Fieri show is.
Correct.
They pick the most attractive person to talk not
Correct.
about the food. Instead.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then she goes into the corner
Yeah.
of the restaurant.
It's always
And
like
there's always a
weird
slow-mo
hour.
walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always like 3 a.m. Always.
Or like 7 a.m. It's always like they're for sure not open, but you're also you're not sure why they open for them to do this at the same time. Like the publicity is probably not worth it. But anyway.
And again, it's they get this big plate of food, or it doesn't always actually have to be a huge plate.
It's normally not really like a competitive eating style.
Yeah, but they're always just like, whoa, look at it, and then the slow-mo eating. And again, it's very gratuitous. The one common denominator is there was always this like house music beat type of thing.
Yep.
Even though again, this is my favorite one.
Yeah, I mean, it's
That house was ball.
It's great. It's fantastic.
But now Leah Shutkever is a legitimate YouTube competitive eater.
That's right.
She's also competed. She was at the Highway 55 burger contest, the all pro. I don't know if it's all pro, but the independent contest. So she can legitimately eat. This isn't just put someone in there, have them take 2 bites and whatever. And it's apparent in this video here. So the challenge,
Also, they didn't have anyone to set her timer for her.
she had to do her timer herself.
do her
She
timer.
does her own stunts. And she goes in right away.
Yeah, this is like an actual competitive eating display.
Doesn't
which
care
is
about
what I
her
appreciate.
hands.
No.
And I appreciate that she immediately goes for the top pancake, folds over the whipped cream that's on top, and starts to eat it like a pancake whipped cream taco.
Although she's only eating very little pieces of each pancake, which doesn't seem like a real competitive eater's move.
This I don't get either. So she goes through a few of the pancakes, picks like the 4th one from the bottom randomly, and then just eats that one normally. I thought she was gonna find one and try to do something to it, but then
No, I have no
I don't know
idea.
I don't know what her thought process.
If we could
was
get
there.
Leah on the show to explain to us how she goes about eating pancakes and why in this way, that would explain a lot. But this is a legitimate video, which we've not ever seen from Girl vs. Food, which is so appreciated from the Fink brothers.
There's gratuitous
one,
shot. You had to get the one shot.
Yeah, that was a bad timing.
But I'm pretty sure that's the only one during the actual eating.
So, how deep can we get into this really quick?
Yeah, we are here. It's episode number 83.
I've been thinking a lot more about this because I've been seeing a lot more content about this. This is very much shot in the male gaze.
Interesting.
If you think about like how things are like directed and shot in a way that nothing else about competitive eating is ever shot. Because even like women who do videos for themselves do not think about it. This is for sure like directed and video. Like everyone involved is a dude. So like it's very much shot in a way.
Some of the people on the crew are women. They showed in the credit.
Sure.
But it's almost like, bro, we got a woman over here. She's over here.
We invited girls like it's and
we know girls. You know, we know girls.
Right, asked me if I was 19. I was like,
they were lining up out here, these girls.
So, it's the only thing in competitive eating that is that way. So it does actually make it shot much different. Like this side angle is the only reason they got that like overtly sexual shot was because they were shooting from an angle that no one else shoots competitive eating from. Which is like, it's really interesting. And probably them being gross is why they got that kind of gross shot, but it's also the way nothing else is shot in competitive eating. So for better or for worse.
So you almost feel like this should win some sort of cinematography award in the world. If the Finkies had a cinematography award.
We do, we just don't broadcast it. It's like the Oscars.
It's on the commercial.
Right, we do.
It's on the commercial.
So again, for the people who are still listening to us via audio.
She's about a minute and a half in.
About a minute and a half in. So she's just going after it. But again, the sort of production value of an actual girl versus food show.
So hold on, sorry.
Oh, there we go.
Here we go. Let there be house, and house music was born.
And again, we did talk about this off air. There are close-ups of her chest when in a tank top and no undergarments, but you can't win them all. We're very close. Like,
and maybe that was how she's most comfortable in terms of pancake eating.
Look, I don't want to judge on that front, but this is what we need to talk about.
Here you go. I know this got you good.
This is the ridiculous thing about this video. So, for anyone not following along, she's 2 minutes and 22 seconds in. She's eaten like half of all these pancakes.
Out of 12 minutes, apparently, that she gets to eat this. And
right.
I would say she maybe has a quarter left, maybe half of it left at 2:22.
But doing great.
Yeah.
And then she like kind of casually looks over to her side and just picks up a spoon and starts just eating the syrup. Like they were going to judge her on that. She's doing like one. That's a real competitive eating move. Like, no, I got to clear the plate.
Because debris, you will get deductions.
But what she doesn't know is that you or Sam Barclay is not there.
We are not there. I would have gone.
Yeah, dude.
I would have gone to Crepes and Cones.
But she does that, which is almost. This is what I wanted to get, like, sort of almost a ruling from you. Is this picnic rules? Because she is eating more like one would, or is this like a hybrid picnic? She is eating sort of like one would if they were actually sitting at a table.
It's a great question, James. One that it makes me so proud that you're asking. So for anyone who doesn't know, so picnic rules is a rule that is enacted in some competitive eating contests,
right,
where the competitor must eat the food how a non-competitive eater would eat it.
Right.
So, for example, the most common example I feel like is used is hot dog contests.
Right.
Nathan's hot dog contest, you'll see them separate the dog in the bun. They'll dip it in the water. It's just about getting it down as fast as possible.
Right.
If the hot dog contest had picnic rules, it means you would have to keep the dog on the bun and eat it as a normal human.
But no, I don't believe any MLE rules do picnic style.
I've never... No, the only semi-picnic rules, which I guess this counts, is having to use a utensil during like a chili eating contest.
Right.
And usually that's enacted from a safety standpoint because Major League Eating, I don't think, has ever done any quote-unquote competitive drinking contests due to the potential health hazards.
But it's not billed
so they
as
say
picnic.
No, exactly. They just, as part of the rules, you're only able to tilt the bowl a certain amount. You have to use a spoon. Or I was at the kale contest. Kale, yeah.
Yeah, kale, yeah.
And the competitors had to use a fork. They couldn't just shove the kale. That was, I feel, more from a debris control standpoint.
Because kale's not really food.
And it's hard. It's hard to, the shrapnel of the kale, like the little leaves and stuff.
And
like
also, that was all about eating healthy, sort of like adding some sort of.
So your question was, is this
a modified picnic?
I don't. Yeah, I mean,
She could have just slurped that
I
up,
mean,
which would have been a real girl.
clearly, right. Clearly, just like with the plate, like, nah.
And they get like that's the one close up they get,
And it cuts her like neon in the background. Copy.
negative, yeah.
Well, I mean, clearly this isn't picnic rules in the sense of right in the beginning she started using her hands. And even in this shot, you can see, we can even play it a little bit more. She has the pancake in one hand and then going for the toppings with the spoon. And I feel like it's a mix of getting the fruit and the chocolate. I don't know if she's as worried about the liquid, even though she goes, I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, she looks unbothered by this, which is...
she must love sweets, because that's a sweet dish right there.
And again, just all of that sugar hitting you in now 3 minutes is a lot to deal with. But this, again, she actually looks like a competitive eater. So thank you, Girl vs. Food, for like having a legitimate competitive eating contest or video. I'm not sure she's like hammering home on these, but like this resembles competitive eating in the way we know it.
I'm really happy about this video because
let's put house music behind all of our videos, all of our podcasts.
While we're talking, hey, house was born.
And while you're talking, I'm just like, and Joey Chestnut was born.
So she's coming up to the last pancake, not slowing down whatsoever. Down at 3 minutes and 45 seconds. She has all. Oh no, I'm sorry. It was one more hidden one.
But still, we were shooting for 12 minutes.
12 minutes. She has.
There you go. Yeah, they really timed the music well, which I do appreciate.
They give the person credit. If you go to the YouTube video, you can see whatever the credit is. It's called like house or house music. I
love it.
So there you go. Last casually, boom, boom.
In like a
boom,
real kind of
done.
pseudo, like almost winking at the camera in a way that pseudo kind of does.
And then she scrapes up. This is a real competitive eater move.
Yeah.
Just the systematic scrape.
Yeah, like there's nothing
boom.
food about what she was doing there. Oh, and she does her own times.
I also had noticed during the video, they don't give her a napkin. There are no napkins. Well, actually,
There's
there
a napkin
are
under her phone.
Underneath her phone. So I don't know if that's why she was like, crap, I have the phone set up to see the camera, so if I grab the napkin,
it's all...
Or was it the director / cinematographer / visionary of this video saying, no, we want to see the chocolate oozing down. We want to see it on your hand. This is a real WIP.
I was say we're having a nice moment here. We had
but I mean, not for sexual reasons, but more for dramatic effect.
Yeah, it does play. I mean, especially if they're going for real competitive eating. Like, I mean, obviously, when we've engaged in competitive eating, I try to be the cleanest eater in the business.
Oh, do you?
If you'll remember, my cut man, my corner man, Brian, was keeping me heavily napkined, but no one does. So, like, why would they? This was like a legitimate eating extravaganza. And clearly, again, they're not open. I don't know what hour this is, but
she could just be in the back corner.
That's true.
It's funny that you mention not open. We'll get to that in a second. So she's posing with the empty plate, turns to the cameraman or woman, and says, "Beat that."
Not gonna happen, Leah.
You see that effect of the glass break?
Yeah, we got to get this person on staff.
4 minutes, and now that we're on video.
Yeah, we can't be messing around. They're just looking at our mugs. Bigging up the restaurant.
Big time. Well, we'll get to it, because I found out a little bit of backstory about this. Look, she's pointing. The icons are coming out. We can learn a thing or two now that we're on the YouTube.
Oh, look at
rotating icons on there. What is shish tauk? Oh, and here's the crew. So I know there is a woman. I saw a woman on there.
Yeah, I'm. Oh, there we go. The photographer.
The photographer.
Bethany. What is that? What in there? What is?
I don't know, dude.
Shish tauk.
I don't know. And in every video, I think they say it. So they're in some sort of like catchphrase.
It's always the same one. It's always shish tauk.
Yes, it's
like,
always
I
that.
feel like I don't want to say it on mic. I don't know what it means.
Right. This could be illegal. What we're saying. We don't know.
I mean, based on NATO, who knows?
So the song is called House Music. And House Music was born. by JL Prince. And you can go to facebook.com/JLPrince01 if you want to check out his stuff. So
Yo, who was the first JL Prince? Why did he have to take O?
Who is OO? Who is the double O? No, but we were talking about this a little bit before in much more serious terms, because we like to poke fun at Girl versus Food. It's very over the top and whatever. But again, Leah Shutkever is a legitimate competitive eater in 2019, has a great following on YouTube, does challenges in her own right, lots of followers on Instagram. Like, she is legit in the world of competitive eating. On top of that, Girl versus Food, whether gratuitous or not, has great quality cinematography, editing. If you like that style, it's very smash, like in your face.
I mean, the icon game alone is
the rotating icons,
bananas.
But what I said, which I don't know if this is a controversial statement or not.
Okay, well, we know
it equals cashish. Oh, there's gonna be a button that's like
yes. We're just working out the kinks
with like a little icon that's gonna. We'll do the rotating icon. But I don't know if this is controversial, but I really feel that every competitive eating video should be edited in the style of this Girl versus Food video. From a restaurant challenge standpoint.
Oh yeah, we talked about
this before. Let me correct about this. Because, so specifically, there's a lot of amazing competitive eaters out there who set up their camera at a restaurant and do these amazing challenges. Well, at home, at a restaurant, whatever. And the purist, the competitive eating fan purist, is the one who wants to sit there and watch a 30 to 60 minute video of them eating this marathon of food, this crazy amount of food.
Which is not I.
Not me either. And I love competitive eating, but I'm more of the 10-minute contest, 8-minute contest. And I love that this was a 7.5 minute video, not even.
Yeah.
The eating portion was truncated.
Well, yeah, because the first minute was her doing outtakes. And,
and it kept my interest the entire time. It big upped the restaurant.
Which is
it had great house music underneath it.
Crepes and cupcakes, whatever it's called.
Crepes and cones.
Crepes and cones.
Stone and bones.
Stone bones, crepes, cones, and scones. Oh. Imagine, I have a whole stones and bones fan fiction that we can go into now. I agree entirely. And especially as someone who is not nearly a purist and has sat through, I don't know, 1,000th the amount of minutes you have watching competitive eating videos. I thought it was really well done. It was really, really good. The Girl versus Food stuff aside, which they kept to a minimum.
They did. They did do Swish Talk at the end, whatever that means.
Swish Talk. Yo, I feel like that's a Ronnie Hartman thing. Like, he would must be like, how weird. If we were like, oh, I was talking to Swish, you'd be like, oh yeah, Swish Talk.
Swish Talk.
Bounce. Dows.
Hot dog.
But yeah, absolutely. It's surprising. We've taken a real turn on Girl vs. Food.
When we first started talking about Girl versus Food, it was in complete jest. We wanted to run these people out of town. But now I Girl versus Food, producers, directors, female photographer.
I love you.
Great job. Keep doing. There's another Leah Shutkever video coming out shortly.
Ooh.
They did a trailer for it. I was hoping it was going to be released by this episode. This video was published on December 14th. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to see what they have next with Leah.
Part 2, Mento.
So speaking of that, so again, the restaurant, I always have to, because I keep thinking Crepes and Cones keeps coming to my head, but the name of the rap group is Crept and Conan.
With K's though, right?
With K's.
Yeah, but Crepes and Cones is with C's. Crept and Conan is with K's.
They are a very big hip hop act. We know they've played an important role in our lives.
You've been sitting on some shit.
I don't know if you're gonna get it right away.
I should have guessed.
But
also, I love where still the show is playing iPhones into.
I mean, because I can't figure out the audio.
If she ain't fucking, she got to go. Tell her don't waste my time. Police
Yo, stop.
Do you know where this is?
Yes, this is what you're gonna blow the fire.
Yes. They sing the entrance song in Creed of Pretty Ricky Conlon.
You're a false Creed.
Yo! V8! Isn't that insane?
Yo,
I was like...
That's why Girl vs. Food really was like, we gotta show up. Hell yeah.
And you mentioned Creed before, and I was like, yo. Because when I heard about the hip-hop angle, I was like, oh, this would be interesting for James, let me hear what these guys are about. And I went to Spotify to their top songs, and Don't Waste My Time came on, and it didn't click, but then it played, and I was like, oh my God.
of all of the British rap songs I know, which are like 7.
This is number 1.
That's number 1.
They also have a song about the restaurant called Crepes and Cones.
I'm sensing a theme in the beats.
They do have very similar.
Head down to crepes and cones. I said head down to crepes and
It's like a commercial song.
cones. I said head down to crepes. Tally. Pull up in a coupe again.
Yo, stop.
Never thought I'd meet food again.
Are they trying to give Badlands a run for its money?
Badlands is so much better than these guys. It's not even funny. But
Although that might be a nice international connect for okay.
Badlands coming on the remix on Crepes and Cones, talking about gyoza.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Wow.
so I have to look.
Holy shit.
Crepes
That's
and
actually
Conan.
bugging me out a little bit.
V8.
Yo, the guy, and he looks weird. He's got like weird facial hair.
Yeah, there's
Looks
something
like a
weird going on
baby.
with that guy,
He looks
yeah.
like a baby, but with facial hair, which is, I guess,
Go check out Creed if you haven't.
if you
watched
haven't now
Creed.
by now figured it out. That's amazing.
I figured that you
Yeah.
like that. All right, James. So
Stop. Can you? Are you just gonna show?
we're gonna
up
go
on
there,
the-
but first we gotta talk about the Road to Coney 2019. And I don't even know if this music is
right,
playing.
or I'm
over
just
the-
dancing to nothing, which is also not.
If you can't hear it, the John Cena music theme is
time is
playing
now.
in your head, if not through your headphones or through your speakers, I guess. Because yes, it is the Road to Coney 2019.
yeah, but do
It is not the first time that we're talking about this on the show.
no.
But I also have to figure out how to like fade out music, so it's a little bit better. than
And I'm
getting
just
caught.
realizing now that people are gonna know exactly how much we drink on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you need? What do you look for? More ice?
I'm looking for my ice.
You gotta break.
Look
it
at
out that
this. Look at this.
one. A little cooler, little MLE Think Beats the Stomach cooler, made by because didn't keep it that cold.
All right, let's just throw some ice.
Olivia Benini, soon to be Murphy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. This is the magic, guys.
Even though it didn't help
Didn't
with
keep
the
anything
ice too
cold.
much.
I'm just a little warm up here mostly. I want to see if I can get some ice cubes going. Keep going.
So the Road to Coney 2019, the first qualifier on the Road to Coney, I believe, is starting on February 22nd?
But really, the road is more.
February 23rd.
The road is always happening right here.
It's ongoing. Much to your chagrin because it starts a little bit too early. a
No,
lot of
Jan 1,
times.
2019. I was like, great, I'm ready for Magic Coney.
Now you're ready.
I woke up on January 1st and said, yeah, but I whispered it to myself.
So we are in the season this weekend.
Man for all seasons?
A man for all seasons, or a man for all Coney seasons.
I'm just going to have to dump
Or hot
this
dogs
water
here.
in here.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll figure
Oh,
it
look
out.
at that. That works. I got the kinks.
This Saturday will be the first qualifier in 2019 for the Road to Coney.
Okay, yeah, but
The second qualifier on the Road to Coney.
sure.
And I wanted to kind of talk it through and
Yeah, this
see.
map is dynamite, by the way.
So let's go through. So I put together a little bit of
Yo.
a map, zmaps.com, if you're looking for something. So I wanted to plot, because I feel like this is always a point of contention on the Road to Coney 2019.
This is hilarious.
It's the location of the qualifiers.
Yeah, there's some holes in the map.
Yeah. What jumps out to you here, Jack?
So the Pacific Northwest,
Tough.
which you know we're going to hear about from...
It's like totally empty, tumbleweed. Like,
the Pacific Northwest. So there is actually a legitimate beef. So Pacific Northwest, you now have 2 major eaters, which obviously we're not going to change the map for, like, because Juan and decided to move to...
Juan's there. Eric's
Victoria's
been up
BAB.
there.
Oh, I forgot. That's
And
absolutely
BAB,
right.
yeah.
But you're obviously not going to change the map just for, like, because 2 or 3 eaters are up there. But the fact that essentially nowhere on the Rocky Mountains are there competitive eating contests. Maybe the terrain is too rocky.
I guess Denver isn't that right by there?
Oh, that's true. Actually, I lied. Sorry.
But still, I
but
mean-
mostly because you guys can't see what I'm pointing to. Mostly, I mean, like, all right, so Phoenix, Tucson. You know, we have somebody we may know who lives down there who may be a slightly competitive eater. And then all the way up to the Pacific Northwest, Portland. And then really, there's nothing really on the West Coast.
No California, which is crazy.
Hotbed in Tucson, in the Pacific Northwest, and in Southern California. Southern California, not as big a deal because those guys are actually going to obviously be there. But, like, Shelly's got to travel. She earned better than that.
Well, Shelly always goes to the Vegas qualifier over here.
Which
Yeah,
I
can't see
guess.
the cursor good. So that's over in April.
Yeah, that's dope that you just did that.
I just want to show that off. So, and in case anyone's wondering, this yellow, we could update this throughout the Road to Coney. There might be. Well, I'll take some of the wild turkey.
Oh shit! Sorry. New table, by the way.
New table. New. Okay, I give a shout out to my father-in-law.
That's right,
Mr. Murphy, with the bourbon spout we have over there. So let's see.
New spout alert. Oh.
Finish that off.
I didn't know if that prop was just a prop or not, or if we had.
Oh no, that's where you got your first glass.
No, I mean if there was any left, I didn't want to. Look at that. So again, fantastic audio content from Think Pizza Stuff.
So Shelly always goes to Vegas. She's Vegas.
Vegas when you're all
local. She's gone. So I got to raise her hand in victory. Quite the
Right.
honor last year. And I believe the past 3 years, maybe 4 years, she's been going to the Vegas qualifier. And what I was going to say before is the yellow, the non-Nathan's belt, means it's already been decided.
Nice.
So that's the Des Moines qualifier, where, again, I was honored to be the MC for, winning Dr. Renee Robitaille and Matt Hungry Hazard. But that's the only qualifier. Everything else is on the field and in play. And again, San Antonio on February 23rd will be the first stop in 2019, which will be this Saturday.
So second thing is, look at that Northeast corridor.
Yes.
They love the Amtrak up here.
Yeah, we can do a little bit of zooming in here and just.
So I mean, obviously, Emily based in New York. We have a recency bias ourselves because we are born and raised in this great state. But that's a lot.
Yeah, and I don't know. You know, I agree. The MLE based in New York, but at the same time, it's up to Nathan's. I feel like, you know what I mean. I don't know. I can tell you as someone who's hosted 2 qualifiers.
Yeah.
From what I've gathered, there are franchise-run qualifiers, where it's done by whoever is the franchise owner, which I believe in Vegas it's like that.
Okay.
That the Nathan's at the New York Hotel has been there forever.
Oh.
And they've been doing the qualifier forever. I mentioned this during the contest. 14 years or 15 years they've been doing the qualifier at the New York Hotel. So that's a long-standing. Versus the Des Moines qualifier seemed to be run by Nathan's corporate.
Okay.
So it seemed like a little bit more standardized in a sense.
Yeah.
And I think whenever they do at the baseball parks and whatever, those are the corporate qualifiers, so to speak.
Yeah.
Versus, some of these long-standing ones that have been at different locations.
But all right, Sam Barkley lives obviously in Florida. The Shays obviously live in New York. Which regions have the most qualifiers in them? Like, granted, per capita, New York doesn't have nearly enough because half of the entire country lives east of Philadelphia. But and that's exaggeration, everyone. But it's 100% what's happening. There's no way that's not the case.
It's a coincidence. It'd be an odd coincidence.
Coincidence.
Yeah. There's a Miami qualifier. There is a Cape Coral qualifier, both in April, and then of course the classic Valdosta qualifier that happens at Wild Adventures, I believe,
which Hazard went to last year, right?
That was the one. Ooh, very astute of you, James Swindori.
We were talking about this a couple days ago, and when it comes to Hazard, I remember.
We're of course very serious Matt Hazard fans. Matt Hungry Hazard.
Yeah.
Also worth noting for the Long Island boys that we are.
That's right.
Is that there's a new qualifier, as far as we know,
psyched up,
out in Central Islip on Long Island, our mother island, at a Long Island Ducks game.
Which I've definitely been to a Ducks game before.
I was going to ask you that.
Not in many years.
It was a little bit part of my childhood, I would say.
Yeah, because your brothers always lived out there, right?
Yes,
or
but
close.
not close, but not because of that.
Why? Youth group.
No.
Damn.
I'm really just outing all my.
Oh, sorry.
No, I don't care.
Wait, I'm sure.
Of anything,
of all the things we've talked about in this podcast, youth group is not nearly.
Yeah, right. No, actually, this is actually probably more embarrassing. So obviously, myself and my dad have a love for the Outback Steakhouse.
Oh, this is not embarrassing if it's Kookaburra involved.
Kookaburra wings.
Yeah, we'll talk about how we get an Outback.
I'm going to switch over here for a second. Okay. So my dad and I used to go to Outback every single Friday.
That's right.
Because my mom would do. The company was at the time was called Homemaker's Idea Company.
Yeah.
Well, then now it's called Signature Home Styles. They basically sell like home goods, basically
Sure.
like decorative items, baskets,
On
and
some real like
Long
mom
Island
on Long
mom
Island
stuff.
thing.
Yeah. My mom's probably listening, like so mad.
No,
Right?
I can't remember.
She hustled. We got a free trip to Hawaii.
I can't remember what my mom used to sell, but they used to be like, "Oh, we're coming over for like a jewelry."
It's like Mary
It was always like
Kay,
jewelry parties.
you
Like they
know.
come over and like someone
Yeah,
would be like, "We're gonna
it's
sell jewelry."
just
stuff.
like that.
Like,
It's just like that.
everyone's coming over. Yeah.
So my mom would normally do those on Fridays. That was
Sure.
the popular night. So my dad was like, "I'm not cooking." So he'd be
And the
like,
classic dad thing.
"Yeah," and he'd be like, "We're
Everyone's
going to
playing-
Outback."
Playing to type here.
So we go to Outback every Friday.
Yeah.
We would sit at the bar, and my dad doesn't drink, and I was 10, so I didn't drink at the time.
Cozy
But-
enough to the bar.
But we would sit at the bar, Diet Coke, Sprite in a chilled mug.
Which I love that.
I would get kookaburra wings, macaroni and cheese. My dad would get like the house salad and like a ribeye or prime rib or
Tell them about the
whatever.
croutons.
And my dad was on Atkins at the time,
That's
so
not
he
very
would give
fun.
the croutons to me. I would dip it in the blue cheese with the kookaburra, and whoo,
Yeah.
so good. So anyway,
That's life.
we made very good friends with a lot of the staff at Outback because we were there every week.
Sure.
They were running a raffle for like spring training with the Long Island Ducks. We got to like,
I thought you were gonna say you went on like a tour of.
well, we got to go in the field.
No, I
hang
thought
out
you
the
meant
play.
of like you guys hit different Outbacks. I thought that's where this was
Oh,
going.
like the Long Island tour.
Yeah.
I only know the Merrick one. I don't even. I'm sure there are.
sure
Yeah.
there's another one.
Um,
Oh, there's one in Baldwin.
whatever.
Anyway, this is some real Long Island
Real.
stuff. Yeah.
So through Outback, I'm pretty sure they fixed it, but we won. I won the like play with
Don't
the
put that on
players. Like,
Outback.
dude, I'm just saying. And then we went to the game, and then whatever. So I have a
Right.
very special place in my heart. Long Island Ducks. Long story short.
Yeah, I don't know how everyone. That's how we started that.
So there is going to be one qualifier after a Ducks game, which Badlands Booker has come out and said, that
Which is the
he
important part
is
of this whole
competing
thing.
in.
Not that we've been talking about Long Island related things, but that it's Badlands has basically a home tournament, a home qualifier.
Yeah, and just to kind of throw out not only Badlands, exactly home field advantage for Badlands. Pablo Martinez has called his spot in Cape Coral. Juan and likely Sarah have called their spot in Denver because, as we were saying, it's probably the closest to them. Cincinnati,
Cincinnati?
the Cincinnati Bratwurst Eating Contest. Cincinnati, which was Derek Jacobs' qualifier the past 2 years, he's returning. Also, I got word Ronnie Megabyte Dizzleflex Hartman,
Build from Coney Island, New York.
build from Coney Island in the wrestling world.
That's right.
He is going to challenge Derek Jacobs, so that'll be a battleground qualifier, which will be a lot of fun in Cincinnati. Darren Breeden has called his spot at Norfolk, Virginia.
Good luck to everyone else.
And that's, as far as I know, I think, Katie Prettyman, one of our favorite
One of
people to
our
come out
faves.
of the Road to Coney 2018, she said she'll be in Cincinnati. So Cincinnati is probably my most anticipated qualifier.
Now, is this all on the
circuit.
record?
Yes,
Or is this,
yes.
is
No, I
this-
checked beforehand.
okay.
I checked
thought maybe
beforehand.
some of this was conjecture.
What is conjecture, again, San Antonio, last year we saw Juan Niave
Yep. I'm just looking at the map right here.
and also Princess Cassie Zapata.
Miss Cassie, if you're nasty.
Cape Coral. It was Pablo and Kat Tesh were there,
Yeah.
or somewhere similar. I don't know if it was Cape Coral, but it was somewhere nearby. In
Well,
Florida.
he loves.
or maybe
to
they
take,
were in Miami.
He loves
I'm
to
not
take the romantic getaway to Florida.
sure.
That's-
That's true.
That's true. I'm not.
Him and
that's
his
what I
wife
bet.
go on a nice trip.
They have a nice weekend together. It's their little vacation, even though they live in a
Because
sunny place.
he lives in California, but has qualified in Florida the past 3 or 4 years.
And we're like, dude, what's
Pablo
up? He's like, oh,
Martinez.
it's a nice vacation. It's a nice, like, long weekend.
Just
delightful.
I think that's it on what is definitely known. We could of course plot people in certain
Sure.
places, but James, do you have any like qualifiers in particular you're interested in seeing, or any people that you're curious to see if they're going to come out again? Or
So I'm a huge fan of the San Antonio one.
why is that?
So one, I love the Juan Nieve and Princess Cassie relationship.
Absolutely.
Their friendship is as close to the Finks as I feel like comes in competitive eating in terms of new people on the scene, because they came around after we did, because obviously there are old friendships.
Absolutely.
Hungry Charles and Badlands Booker. I mean, the Shays are actual brothers. But I love those two together. I love that Crazy Legs does some early calisthenics at that, just sitting on a bike. It's the only one like anywhere near there, and
Yeah.
Texas is massive. Like
Yes.
Texas, There are 3 in New York and 1 in the whole state of Texas, and none until you get to the Rockies, which you correctly pointed out are in Denver. So I love it. It's truly the regional one. I love that relationship, and I'd love to see those two sort of taking their shot.
And I will say, since the San Antonio qualifier is the next one coming up, so we'll be probably chatting about it in our next episode. Last year, it was at this big strawberry festival.
That's right. Which we
in
again.
Poteet. It was not actually San Antonio. It was Poteet,
and
Texas.
We can talk strawberry festivals as well because again,
we know them well from Belmore, New York.
Shit,
yeah. This year, it's happening at a I think it was a bull riding thing. I think I wrote it in here.
Is that the rodeo?
I think, yeah. Hold on. Now I'm gonna need to.
So
I'm gonna need to look it up.
This is one of my favorite things to take it to just to the hardwood real quick. So every year the San Antonio Spurs go on like what I believe is the league's longest road trip. They have to leave town for like a month and a half while the rodeo comes to town. And every year they do this. And it's like a big like the NBA is like, oh, like, you know, this happens. And
this might be
and the Spurs go on a road trip for like a month and a half for the rodeo to come in. It's the best.
This might be that time of year.
It has to be.
Because so it's the San Antonio Rodeo.
Yeah.
I looked it up earlier today because
Right.
I was trying to map it properly. I wanted to put the address of the actual place where it's happening at the AT&T Center in San Antonio. Yeah.
So people do when they map contests. Yeah.
And it's happening over multiple days.
Yeah, this has got to be.
So it sounds like that would be when
That's amazing.
they'd be like, we have to get out of town because
MLE's coming.
Yeah, yeah, that's why the MLE's coming, not the rodeo.
Yeah. That's amazing.
No, I'm excited. I'm gonna pull up.
Yeah, what do you got? Which one are you looking forward to?
Actually, let me-
Or are we going? You're looking forward to Eaters?
I'm
Person
always looking forward to Eaters. So we have the top 16 pulled up on the screen right now. Carmen Sincotti, we talked about the show, retired, claims he is not coming back. It's one of those things where I would almost believe it when I see him not on the road to Coney. Because I almost don't want, my heart doesn't want to believe it.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Although he didn't, I'll say this, I'll believe it when I don't see him on the road, but like he didn't get any gas. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't seem prepared to get on the road.
I mean, if I was a betting man,
which you are not.
I am. This is it for Carmen, unfortunately. And
I won't pour it out because we just bought all this new stuff.
Yeah, please don't.
But I want to.
Adrian Morgan, I'm curious to see. Adrian Morgan, I don't know if we talked about this, but a father.
Oh,
Yeah.
muzzle tov.
It was about a month ago. That
Good for him.
and Maggie had a baby, which is amazing. So congrats to the
Big
Rabbit
congrats
family.
to the
Yeah.
Rabbit.
So will Adrian be out there? Will he be out there with a new fire trying to provide for his family?
Creed 2.
I mean, and they say about rabbits. I mean, there could be more kids coming. We don't even know. So he's got to get that prize money. Like, listen, that's just science.
Now there's like we've done the 8 Mile bit with Rabbit obviously 1,000 times. There's too many movies.
During his spotlight, I think I played him out with Rabbit Run.
Of course.
So,
only 2 people I know who care about that song are sitting right in front of this camera.
Nick Wary. So Nick Wary, obviously, who we love on the show, after one of my favorite interviews we've ever done. Nick, we saw him at the Citi Field qualifier,
and he crushed. He was amazing.
Crushed. So he's one of those people where,
Yeah.
outside of like a Darren Breeden
Right.
or a Jeff Esper, he can more or less. He has some good enough numbers where he can pretty much pick his qualifier. So it'll be interesting to see. I believe, I don't remember off the top of my head, I believe he's from the Northeast.
I think he lives in Connecticut.
It is Connecticut. You were right.
Yeah, because Kate.
So it'll be interesting to see. Badlands is going to be out in Central Islip. Queens is probably a good spot for him.
I wonder if Queens becomes his contest. That wouldn't be the worst.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been dormant. It used to be Eater X's contest, then Yasser.
Now, Ronnie's not going to Syracuse?
That's what I was surprised as well.
Weird.
He said he's
obviously
doing.
Ronnie has relocated for
He's a Buffalo boy now.
for both wrestling and education, which big ups to him, but surprising.
No, he said Cincinnati.
All right. What do I know?
So yeah, I don't know. The only thing I can think of is the fact that all of the eaters, which I appreciate, all of the eaters kind of talk to each other.
Yeah.
And they try to figure out, okay, you're gonna go here, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go here, just because. I mean, you look at the map. Obviously, people are gonna have to fly. A lot of people are gonna have to fly. So if it just boils down to communicating and saying like, okay, look, let's not waste a flight here. Like you go here, I'll go here. Then so
But who's cutting him out? Like was
maybe Esper.
Oh yeah, you don't want any smoke with him.
Because if you look
Yeah.
from the Massachusetts standpoint, it's one of the New York qualifiers,
Right.
or it's
There's a real
Syracuse.
concentration. Maybe that's not so much of a Shea thing, because like there is a real concentration of people who should qualify. You have Weir, you have Esper, you have Ronnie, you have
Badlands.
you have Crazy Legs Conti.
Crazy
who will show
Legs,
up,
Yasser
and
if he comes back, even though I feel like he's
hope he
done.
does.
Yeah,
I do hope he does, because I love to have Yasser involved in everything we can. But yeah, there are a bunch of people who have to qualify. So all right, maybe I was overly critical.
Well, the other interesting thing is the fact that there's only 15 qualifiers, 16 if you consider the champion exemption,
Sure.
17 if you include the past champion exemption.
Sure.
So for anyone if this is your first road to Coney, welcome for the ride.
And Yabadu.
But the rules don't explicitly state, because no one writes them down.
Well, they came like
from
yeah.
we wouldn't understand. We couldn't speak the language anyway. or
We speak
understand
in
it.
tongues if we had tried to hear them.
But the way that it's shaken out the past few years is that if you are the current Nathan's hot dog champion, male or female,
No, I am in favor of.
or if you are a past Nathan's famous
is rough.
hot dog eating champion, you are exempt from having to qualify,
Yep.
and you got a place on the table.
Not
on
that
July
many people
4th.
win.
Correct.
Like this,
I agree.
Yeah.
We've talked about this
we've
ad nauseam.
relitigated this 1,000 times.
So from a male-female standpoint, it really boils down to for the men, it means that Joey Chestnut and the current champion and Matt Stoney, a past champion,
Yep.
don't have to qualify. And on the female side, Mickey Sudo, current champion, Sonia the Black Widow Thomas, multiple time past champion, do not have to qualify.
So great. So I mean, there's not going to be a situation in which there are like 1,000 people who have now won. Like
Correct.
half the table is exemptions, and if they do, we'll think about it.
But I call it out because using those 2 exemptions plus the 15 qualifiers,
It's only 17.
17, 3 short of last year. I believe it was an even 20.
This is fine.
Yeah, but I'm curious. It is fine. Like, I think less qualifiers means higher caliber of eaters and so on. But it'll be curious to see who is gonna miss the cut. Off the top of my head, the lower ranked male eaters, Buffalo Jim, I think Matt Hazard had one of the lower numbers.
Well, someone's taken what it was now vacated by Carmen.
Correct. That's true too.
Because I don't want to lose anybody, especially like a guy like Buffalo Jim, who's just the class of the whole entire organization.
He really is.
But we'll talk about this 1,000 more times. That's probably the right number.
And will Max Suzuki come back? Max Suzuki, the sensation from Japan, the second coming of Kobayashi, as some people called him, qualified in Las Vegas, ate, I don't remember offhand, over 30 hot dogs. Or maybe he was in the 40s. That's something that I feel like is worth looking up that I shouldn't. 42 and a half hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes. I was standing right there, and I don't even
That's
remember.
nothing to sneeze at.
Ate, I believe, the exact same number, or something very close to it on the 4th. So, on a very impressive number, put him in the top 5.
At least he's consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. But will he be consistent in terms of his attendance? Will he fly out from Japan
Or is this
to go to
Nella's
Vegas
there?
again? Yeah, Nella actually she did 2 years.
That's right.
The first year she didn't qualify.
That's right.
They brought her in as a sponsor's exemption,
Right.
much to Kate's chagrin.
Chagrin is maybe half of it.
Yeah. Nella's sister, she was a new competitive eater who is a model from New Zealand who had quite a big appetite.
And she's delightful. She was fantastic.
And a delightful human being, a Finke Award winner.
That's
as
right.
well.
Another Finke Award winner.
And she ate at Nathan's, and then the following year flew to somewhere in Texas.
Okay.
Can't remember. Maybe it was San Antonio. I don't know. No, it wasn't San Antonio. Somewhere in Texas.
Sure.
And qualified legitimately. And then we haven't seen her since. She opened a restaurant in New Zealand.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, so she's doing a lot. But Max Suzuki, will he come back?
I hope so.
I hope so too. His energy was really great
Yeah, he
on
was
July
cool.
4th.
I like him.
So James, I guess kind of to wrap this up, are you excited for the road to Coney?
I'm gonna be when we get our first one down. I think. I need one. I need to get one. We're just getting back in the groove.
Mm-hmm.
2, we're getting back in this new show, this new whole entire format. But really, I need to see the people eat. I need to see what's happening before I get too excited.
And who, I feel like I know the answer to this question, who are you most excited to see out there on the road to Coney 2019?
It's like picking between my children. Hazard. I'm really.
Well, Hazard's already qualified, so you'll see him on the 4th.
I had Valdas in my head. So that means Gideon Oji, can he make a local contest?
He usually waits to the last qualifier.
Yeah, he's
which
not
is
going to make the one
Washington,
that's
D.C.
like right around him. He's going to wait. I'm really excited for this rabbit storyline. Like, is he going to
that I just made up.
Yeah, no, I was. We were talking about this before. Now I'm excited for that. Esper versus Weary now, like the Herculean effort between those two. There's lots to be excited for. I didn't pick one from the women's side, Mike. So give me a female storyline. Sorry to put you on the spot.
On the female side, I will say it's we talked about it before. I'm excited for the return of any, if all, of the amazing females that were added to the roster last year.
Yeah.
So Katie Prettyman, Kat Tesh, Tracy Dickerson.
Yeah, another good one.
She qualified in Miami. Marlins or Miami, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure the Miami qualifier is at a Marlins game again. It was there last year. I just didn't know if it was
on some MLB stuff.
Tracy, it was announced that her and I believe Katie, a bunch of people are going to be at the croqueta eating contest.
Again in Miami, Florida.
Which is,
home of one Sam Barkley.
Which we will absolutely talk about that contest. That's on March 10th.
Which has a special place in our heart.
Which we'll get into when we get there. But Tracy, one of my favorite spotlights as well. We had a blast with her in Badlands.
Yep.
Katie, Kat. I'm sure I'm forgetting someone that I'm going to regret. Holly Titus. She was great. She qualified in Cincinnati with
but didn't show.
Derek Jacobs. No, she was there. She was
Sorry,
there.
Holly.
I don't know if I feel like, I'm trying to think if we actually said what up to her. It was, the 4th was so crazy. I feel like there was 10 people that I wanted to say hi to that didn't. There was a lot of great females that added a lot of personality to
100%.
the 4th, and I'm hoping that not only will they come back and keep their personality in the mix, but improve even more. And
the race.
Yeah. And start to have, more we say it every single year, and we hope every single year, and hopefully 2019 is the year that the female contest gets a heck of a lot more competitive.
We're going to start seeing a preview of it. So we're going to see what numbers people are putting up. Ideally, we'll be all above 10s. We'll really I'm looking for that to get off to a strong start.
Absolutely. So, James.
We did it.
Yeah, this is great, man. Our first video in the books. A little bit of technical difficulties. But what's Fink Pizza Stomach without technical difficulties?
100%. If you've ever interviewed with us, you know that this is sort of par for the course.
It's been going on the top a little bit throughout the.
That's the coolest part to me. Wait, oh no, I'm on the other side, so I gotta do.
You gotta point towards me. It's above my head. So, James, I think the best way to get in touch with the show. And normally it's not YouTube.
No.
So this could change, but for now, the best way to do that is, of course, to go to twitter.com/FBTSpod. And if 280 characters just aren't enough, you can send us an email. Mm-hmm. That's an electronic snail mail, and you can do that by sending it to thinkpizzastomach@gmail.com. And of course, as it reminded you, we are also FBTS Pod on Instagram.
Wouldn't know anything
Think
about
Pizza
it.
Stomach on YouTube. But
Know
we
a lot
talk
about it.
about so many things, a lot of different links.
Vids.
There's a lot of vids. There's some photography as well.
I mean, pics.
And then, of course, if you want to get from one news story to another,
Links.
Where can we do that? If only it was aggregated to one place.
It's a wonderful news site. I don't know why they're being slandered by internationally now, but it's Facebook. Have you seen the ads before we get in? For I think the book is called Zucked. There's Subway ads for it. It's like how Mark Zuckerberg fooled you. It's like you got zucked. Anyway, if you live in New York City, you will see the ads. That's Facebook, which is the site he started or stole, whichever you prefer to believe. And that's facebook.com/FBTSpod. Think Pizza Stomach.
It's been running.
I know, but then I got it in my head because they were all over the thing. So it's facebook.com/Think Beats the Stomach.
Absolutely. And this was great.
It's a lot of fun.
I think it went well. We'll see how the stream goes. I actually want to pull up. Let's see if... we had... it went away. It's back. Katie Prettyman.
Hey!
I'm so glad you guys are back, a.k.a. Katie Prettyman.
That's delightful.
The one comment.
Thank you so much, Katie Prettyman.
But that actually worked, putting the live stream up.
I love it.
Pretty good. So, Katie, we thank you for at least one person watching the live stream.
Thank you, Katie.
James, I thank you for putting up with all of this. Now
Delightful.
we
You
moved
did
from
it. We
audio to
bought
video.
I wish they could see the table we bought together. We're in IKEA like a
The
couple
little video
newlyweds.
stream we
Yeah.
Hopefully, it just keeps getting better and better and better.
It will. It will. Thanks to you, Mikey.
But we want to thank you for listening and watching this episode of Fink Beats the Stomach.
Good night, everybody. Nice.
I don't know if they could